So if you're joining me for the next 15 minutes, then you'll know this is a series. You can always take these in different pieces or you can put them all together, which I have a playlist on YouTube for. So last time we ended here in mountain pose with a little bit of breath. So once again, we start here, a couple of breaths, rolling the shoulders back, lengthening the spine, and now thinking a little bit more about engagement. So pressing the insides of those legs toward one another, engaging the inner thighs, lifting the kneecaps up by engaging the fronts of the thighs. And then go ahead and inhale, sweep hands all the way up. Little back bend here. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Step that right leg back. Drop the heel. Inhale up, warrior one. So it's a little bit shorter stance, warrior one to start with. Turn the hips, engage the upper torso to lift and lengthen. And make sure that your knee is not going way over your toes or drifting way in or out. You can still see all your toes and count them down there. And then exhale, hands to your hips. So you're gonna go ahead and straighten out that left leg. Hop that right leg a little bit closer and turn it a little bit more in for our pyramid pose here, okay? So find your stability here. Press in through the big toes. Lift the hips so they're pointing straight ahead. And then go ahead and lengthen the spine and exhale, fold forward. So I like to keep my hands on my hips so I can sort of shift that left hip back, right hip forward, and think length of spine. So the upper part of your back will always curve a little bit more, but what you want to find is a long spine. That's going to give you more stretch in the back of the hamstrings, back of the legs. You may feel this in your calves. They may feel this in the back hamstring, lower back, lots of different places. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Step that right next to left. Back up to our mountain pose. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Stepping that left leg back. Short stance here. Drop the heel. Come up into your warrior one. Look down. Make sure you can still see all your toes. Lift up through the torso. Lift up through the shoulders. Tuck the belly in. Enjoy warrior one. And then exhale, hands to hips. Straighten out that right leg. Maybe step your left foot a little bit closer. Turn the toes a little bit more toward the front. Press down through the toes. Find your stability first before you start to fold, right? Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Hands on hips. Shifting that right hip back, left hip forward. So you have a nice level back, or as level as it will get, right? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. 3 more deep breaths here. Notice where you feel this in your body. Last deep breath. Lengthen, fold. And inhale, come all the way up. Step those feet together, right? Come a little closer to the top of your mat. For me, that's kind of this edge. Inhale, sweep hands all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Step that right foot back. Drop the heel. Come into a nice wide stance where you can come into warrior two. So I like to start with my hands down because I want to focus on this part of my body first. So look down, make sure, see if you can get your knee over your ankle. If that's a lot for you, behind it is always better than over it, right? Always better than way too far. Lift up through the torso, drop the shoulders down. Take those arms out to the side, look out past your left fingertips. So look down the middle finger, reaching out. 3 deep breaths. And then reach out with those left fingertips as far as you can go. Drop that left elbow down. Got the sound system in the way there. Take that right arm up and over. If that's a lot for you, you can always tuck it around behind. If you have access and you're open enough, you can take your hands toward the floor or onto the leg on the other side. Roll that right shoulder back. And then taking that right shoulder straight up, you're going to straighten out that left leg. Come into your triangle pose. Inhale, come all the way back up. Turn to the front of the mat, take a big step forward, shake it off. Inhale, sweep hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. This time you're going to take that left foot, step it back, drop the heel. Come into your stance first, find your place. I'm going to turn myself around so I'm facing the other way. If you feel like you can take it further and your knee is drifting over too far, you might want to walk your foot out a little further. You might be ready for that. Lift up through the torso, engage the core, roll the shoulders down, arms out to the side, reach out through the fingertips. One more deep breath. And then reaching out through those right fingertips, drop that left elbow either down onto the knee, inside of the leg, outside of the leg. You can even go down to the floor, but if you find your shoulder drifting in, you've gone a little too far. Take that left arm up, over your ear or behind. Rotate that left shoulder back a little bit more. And then go ahead and take the left arm straight up, straighten out that right leg. Come into your triangle. So if you're feeling warmer, this is more of the heating part of our practice. And then come all the way up. Step to the front of your mat. Shake it off. A little bit of balancing poses here. So go ahead and come into tree pose. We're going to take our feet a little bit about hip distance apart. Hands to our heart. Go ahead and lift that right foot up. Keep your knee a little bit loose. You can move it to the inside of the calf muscle or the inside of the thigh, just not on the knee joint. Okay. Keep this hip from drifting out. Push it in. Lift up nice and tall. Your core really works in tree pose. Every balancing pose requires a lot of core engagement. Inhale, hands up. Reach up nice and tall. You can interlace fingers or not. 3 deep breaths. And exhale, hands down, knee down, shake it off. Other side. Hands to your heart. Engage, get a little lightness in that foot, knee. Tuck that right hip in a little bit. So you have a nice long torso. Inhale, arms all the way up. Being from Texas, we call this the southern hip when it pops out like that. So don't do the southern hip. 2 more deep breaths. And exhale everything down. Shake it off. 1 more balancing pose here. So go ahead and bring your hands to your hips. You're going to bring that right knee up. 90-degree angle here. Flex the toes. So if this is a lot for you, you can take your hands behind your knees and give it a little lift. Or you can lift it as high as you can, keeping the hips level. So maybe you tuck it in first there. Arms out in front of you like you're holding a tray. Torso nice and long, shoulders back, away from the ears. And then arms up overhead. Stretch the fingertips. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Everything down. Really feel that in that quadricep right there. Other side. Bring that left knee in. Once again, you can take the hands behind it and stay here, or you can take your arms out in front of you, sort of tray style. Really lift all you can through that leg. Don't worry if you start to feel tipsy, it happens. Arms up overhead, stretch the fingertips. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale everything down. Shake it off. Then back to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, palms down. Step back into your plank, kneeling or otherwise, and come all the way down onto your belly. We're going to take a little rest here. Go ahead and take your hands flat, forehead to the back of the hands. You can stay here for a few breaths, and this can be the end of your practice. You could roll over onto your back and make this your Shavasana for a few minutes afterwards. Or if you're playing the playlist, you will go ahead and go on to the next stage here in a minute. But whatever you choose to do, thank you.